So I'll give you 2 minutes. I'm just going to prep the interior, and then we'll start talking about it.
Looks like she's 25.
It's like that, and then there is the.
Whoa!
There it is. So yeah.
11 miles.
Yep. All them miles were done on the dyno inside the factory. The first time it saw daylight or touched pavement was right outside here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what they were showing me the dyno and then the water torture test.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But no.
It's like you're gonna get it wet. No, don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Every car gets drenched before it gets done.
Thanks for your help. Appreciate it.
So what we'll do is I'll close this door. Hey, thank you very much. And then, if you don't mind, could we close that big door?
Sure can. Hey Jen, can you close the door? Pushing it on the blue with your
Yep.
fingers.
And pull the door straight out. There you go. And so from this side,
Careful of the threshold there.
it's a one of them, right? If you press it and then you wait, it gets stuck.
Okay.
Don't freak out, just hit it again.
Okay.
And then the best way to get in is turn yourself around, Ben, and sit straight down on that door sill.
I'll help you back out, Ben.
There you go. Yep. And then bang your head, get your bum in, and then put your feet in. So yeah, everybody's got their own way of doing it, but the best way is sit, get your bum in, bang your head, then put your feet,
Okay.
especially for the first time.
That thing, I got one of these, so I'll probably.
However you want to do it. I said everybody's got their own way.
I'll try it.
There you go. So inside the cockpit here, we don't like to call it tight because that sounds cheap. It's intimate, right? It's an intimate driving experience. But how is it on the roof? Headroom, you all okay?
A little bit.
A little bit. Welcome to Tall Guys, right? This is what happens. Everybody's got a little bit of headspace right there. Not much. And then to start with, the seats are bolted directly to the floor, right? So the seat bases do not move. Now the back of the seat moves, but the back of the seat moves on the lever that's directly straight down the side of you. It's like right there. And that's what gives you the recline forward. Okay. They are both all the way back right now. Okay. Most people have them all the way back or maybe 2 clicks forward. You look actually pretty comfortable right there, my friend.
Yeah.
You know, that looks good. And then the way the pedals move on this car, right? Because we bolted the seats down to the floor, we do that so we can hug the greenhouse around the drivers. If the seat moved, the greenhouse of the car would have to be bigger to give you shoulder space. So we hold the driver right where we want him and everything else comes up to you, right? So to move the pedal up towards you, you see the strap on the tunnel right there? Right down the side? Right here. Yeah, you got to pull that straight back towards you, then the pedals are going to come up.
Okay.
It's really stiff, go straight back. The pedals come up. And then if you want them away, pull to release and then press with your feet and let go whenever you're happy. Okay. Right? I've put everybody in this car. I've put somebody who was 5'5" or 6'7". the dude who was 6'7", he was all leg. I mean, he was an odd looking football guy. Really short body, like he could put his whole hand on top of his head and have plenty of space there. But his knees were like literally up here. He was an odd shaped person. But so that's the pedals. To move the steering wheel out towards you, there's 2 adjustments. The first adjustment is directly underneath. It's like right about there. So push that down. You got to hold it down over with your thumb. You got to push it forwards and down. And then pull out on the bottom of the wheel. Pull it straight back. Right?
Yep.
So that gives you the telescope. And then watch this. Undo that one at that side. It's like right there somewhere. Yeah, push that down. Keep going down.
Okay.
No, you got to.
Right here. Middle finger. Oh.
Yeah, push that down. That goes up and down, but pull the wheel again. Right. For us tall guys, pull it all the way out and lift it all the way up. Tighten it up on that side for me if you can. Yeah. Once that's tight, you can push it back in on this side. So go underneath the column again. It's hard to find it when you.
Right here.
It's right.
Should be right under here. Right in the middle, like right
I've got it held down. If you want to push the wheel in, there you go.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason why we do that is when you pull it out on the adjuster at this side, the wheel comes out fairly level. If you loosen it and pull it out on that side, when it comes out, it also goes up. So we gain a little bit of height by using the adjuster on that side.
Okay.
Okay. But that's the best way to learn it is the way we've just done it, right? So remember, the whole car is carbon fiber. Underneath the white paint and everything, it is carbon fiber, right? And this car could have been born a GT race car. Up until the point of the roll cage getting put in this car, it's not designated one way or the other, okay? Like we have a cage in here that literally just goes up and down with a halo on the top. The GT race car gets an extra set of door bars in here and a cross brace in the rear. But up to that point, it's exactly the same as a GT race car. It's the same tub. In fact, the top part of the cage is the same as the race car. It's an FIA certified cage. Okay. So is the dashboard. The dashboard is structurally part of the car. This holds the A-pillars together. So it stiffens up the front of the car. Across we go. You see the black radio antenna in the glass?
Yep.
That grounds out inside here. Okay, because the car's carbon, the radio signals want to bounce off. You need a ground plane for the signals to stick to. That's what that alloy wing is for on the dashboard, is somewhere for the signals to actually stick to. Yeah. Keep going across the dash, right in front of your knee right there, Ben. You got the VIN number on the right side, N081. Yeah, the N is for 2022 designation. Okay, you are car 81 of 2022. Okay. So every year we get a new letter, and then we start at 001 again for the new letter year.
How many have they made in 2022? Or do you know?
This would be 81.
Yeah. So eventually we'll do about 250. So we're in production right now is probably 100 and 510-ish.
I was curious what the total was.
Yeah. But we build one car a day. So 250 working days, we do 250 cars. Give or take 10 or so. Over the full life of the build, from 2017 to the end of this year's the last run of production, we'll have built 1,350.
Not very much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, considering other supercar manufacturers like, this is super exclusive and they're pumping out 3,000 a year. No, this is 1,350 over 5-6 years. That's it. Next across the dashboard, you've got the heater controls right in front of you. Well, we can't make them any more simple than that.
Right.
It's like, where do you want it? How hot? How hard do you want it blowing? It's pretty straightforward, right? The next thing is we're going to turn on the ignition so we can get the screens alive. To get the ignition on, that's right, no brake, so stay off the brake and just press that button. The ignition comes on. That's like accessory mode if you actually had a key, right? Give it a second and the dash tells us the door's open. Well, we know that, so go ahead and press OK on the steering wheel right there. Yeah, press it in, and again, and one more, because you've got to do each one individually, right?
Okay.
One of them said that was low fuel. Because this car's built up in Canada, crossing the border, we can only ship it with 5 gallons in, which is why there's low fuel. But there's enough there's enough for today. Okay, but your first stop after you get the whole car wrapped is the gas station. That's stop number 1. Okay. We'll talk about this in a minute. Are you familiar with Ford Sync?
Yep.
This is exactly the same as any other Ford Sync 3 car.
Okay.
Dead straightforward, except, let me show you some of the weird stuff. Can you press the audio for me? That's your radio screen. When we hit sources, you notice there's no satellite radio. Again, because the car's carbon, we didn't want to put a triangle thing on the roof, so it looks stupid. So we left that off. If you want to hear a satellite radio, you've got to suck it through your phone via the Bluetooth. But that's easy, right?
Yep.
Otherwise, you can Bluetooth your phone. You got maps in here. All the usual Sync 3 is right there. Okay. You can also plug in your phone to that USB port underneath it. Okay. But if you are just using a radio as a standard radio, right? For the radio volume, it's right here on the steering wheel. Okay. And then your preset jumper to change your radio station is this button. So you can see it jumps to like the next one. And then if you hold it, it's like a search. It'll stop at the next station you can actually find.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you are into music, this is the wrong car for you, right? Because these speakers are really small, but luckily the engine's really loud, and all you're going to hear is rocks hitting the floor.
Yeah.
So you can't really hear it anyway. But luckily it's a nice sound, so sing to yourself, right? It's because the radio is not great. Otherwise, we've talked about the USB ports. Oh, can you find the cup holders?
No.
Yeah, there's 2 cup holders hiding in this car, and they're on Ben's side. You press to release.
Yep.
Yep, there you
I'll
go.
grab my glasses back there, way in between the chairs, just those blue ones.
You got them?
Yep.
And then just in front of that, you've also got a 12-volt power outlet as well, like a cigarette light style plug.
So you just for this one, you push that one.
Yeah, they kind of spring out.
You got those other ones, Joe? Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, there you go.
There.
Now you can see. And then the second almost trick question is, can you find the glove box?
Back here?
No, it's right between the driver's legs. So, right, that's where else you've got to put it. But it's that black box right in front of the seat. You've got to push on the center at the top, flick it forwards.
Yep.
That's it. It's only small, that's why it's a glove. It's not plural. You can only put one in there, right?
Sunglasses.
Your sunglasses, your insurance card, and that's about it. Okay. Down the center stack, we'll go down there next. The first button that you see is the hazard lights, just the normal 4-way hazards. Yeah. The next one back is the traction control and stability control. That's how you would turn down and turn off the systems.
Okay.
Leave it alone. You need all the help you can get with this. This is not a track Mustang where you can kind of play and do a little bit of sideways action. This car is so fast and it's so aero dependent. If you go sideways into a corner, it turns off the aerodynamics, right? The air's designed to hit the front. If you go in there sideways, there's no aero, so you get even less traction. Leave it alone. Okay. The next one is a comfort mode. So when you're just cruising around town, you can hit that and it's going to soften the ride just a little bit. It just takes the edge off the ride for you, okay? But that only works, honestly, when the engine's running. Because this car's a hydraulically operated car, even the shock absorbers are hydraulic. So everything changes hydraulically. So that's why it's not doing anything right now. The last button down there, that's the most important button in the whole car. Anytime you get ready to start it and move it, you get out of your driveway, etc., go to a gas station, go to McDonald's, you need to start the engine, press the button, it goes up 2 inches, right? Then you press it again and it goes down. But if it's up in the air at 25 miles an hour, it goes down all by itself. Pretty easy. And then the parking brake is obviously the last one back there.
Yep.
Now it sets automatically. That's hence the brake symbol. Anytime you turn the engine off, the parking brake sets automatically. Likewise, it should release automatically as well. As long as the door's closed and your seatbelt's on, when you hit drive, it should release.
Okay.
Okay. So you see, it's not crazy complicated so far. It's normal, right? Even the wheel is not that scary, trust me. This is your turn signals. So hit it quickly, and it'll do 3 times, and then it stops. and a longer hold is going to be constantly going to flash, okay? And then it will cancel when you turn the wheel or you hit it again, right? So you got your left, you got your right. We'll talk about this in a minute. This is your headlight flasher. It's like the get out of the way people button, right? but that also turns on your high beams. So if your high beams, you have to turn your headlights on first, so that's going to be running lights and then headlights. So if the headlights are on, press and hold that until you see the blue high beams on the dashboard symbol, and then you can kill it. So that's normal low beams, and then you can turn your headlights off.
Okay.
Now a button that you'll never ever use is the dash dimmer switch over here. You just need the dash fully bright all the time. Okay. Otherwise, we do have shift lights up in the top of the wheel. So when you are performance driving it and you get to 5,500 revs, the first light comes on. And then as the revs increase all the way up to 6,500, all the lights come on. And at 6.5, all the lights are on, they'll all flash. That's your indication to change gear. It's cool, right? Because red line is always at 7,000, so you're changing at 6,500, it needs another gear. Okay. Next one round, we've got the washer squirters. You've also got the wipers there as well. Okay, so all you do to get the wipers on, you just twist it. There's 2 intermittent, 2 constant modes. Okay. Further down, this looks complicated, but it's not. It's the standard Ford layout here. So you got your push to talk button. So when you do have your phone Bluetoothed up to the radio, you can push to talk and please say your command. Do you want to call home, call the business, call whoever, right? Sure. It's not calibrated for my accent, so I don't even mess with that at all. It's totally useless in any car.
I don't think I've used any of my cars.
No, it doesn't work for me. The next one does, though, the OK. We've been pressing it in for OK in messages. This time, don't go in, just hit that toggle up. That's where the fuel trip is. If you go up again, you should have, try it again. It's super sensitive. Do not go in at all. You just need to go up. You see what I mean? Okay. So that's tire pressures. You notice that they're all over the place right now. Because the cars, the tires are pretty cold. Mm-hmm. Give it a couple of days for them to acclimatize. And you want to be seeing 30 as your cold pressure. Okay. I've got a gauge in the rental car with me today. I'll set them at 31 today, which gets them close. In a week or so, just the final pound or so. Okay. Hit that up again. Try it again. There you go. That's customizable, but I've already customized it for you. Okay. So that gives you the transmission temperature, the oil pressure, the battery voltage, and then the turbo boost. All on one screen. So 4 is the maximum parameters that you can have laid out right there. The other 2 options is oil temperature and air intake temperature. Who cares about that, right? That's what you need to know, right? Is the trans temperature okay? Yes. Oil pressure, we're still good. And then as we go down, you have to have the turbo boost on just because it sounds cool, right? Everybody always asks how much boost. It's live right there. You can see it. Okay. It is a supercar. You do need some coolness, right? Yeah. Hit that up again. Try it again. It should disappear. There you go. It's easier to go down, trust me. But going up, it's always a little difficult. Right? The next thing is press the back arrow, and that's how we get like behind the dashboard. Okay. So launch control is the first option. If you go ahead and press OK on the wheel, you've turned it on. You've now got LC over here, which means you can pull up at the stop sign. You go full brake and full gas, both feet all the way down. It's going to sit there about 3,000 revs on the rev limiter. It's building turbo boost and it's building transmission pressure. Okay. Once it's got enough boost and transmission pressure and it's ready to go, that LC will turn to green. At that point, you can get off the brake and it's going to launch, controlling the wheel spin. It's awesome. Okay. Yeah, it's cool. But you have to wait with both feet down until it turns green. Okay, and then you can launch it. But we'll turn that off for now. So press the back arrow, go back, and then just press OK, and you'll see it uncheck itself. Let's go back once more. This time go down one click. Let's go into information. Yeah. If we were to pick one of these selections, it would be displayed over there all the time. Okay. But as you can see, none of them are very exciting. They're all pretty boring things. But if you toggle all the way down for me to configure gauges, yes. Now this is that page where we can customize that 4-bar graph, you see, so you can go all the way down. Oh, yeah. Oh, but that's where it is if you ever wanted to play with it. It's information, configure gauges. You see, it's super sensitive is that button.
Was it at no content?
No content, that's fine.
See?
Just so you can see what else there is. Coolant temperature you don't need because you always have it over here anyway. Oil temperature, my thing on oil temperature is if you're doing a lot of track day work with this, yeah, I would turn off boost and put on oil temperature. But if I'm just driving it on the street, if you've got oil temperature issues on the street, you've probably got other problems.
See ya.
But otherwise, let's go back arrow, one click. One more for me. Go down to the rear wing deployment. Press that one time. Leave it in automatic.
Okay.
This is if you wanted the wing up all the time, you'd hit raised. Okay. As a mechanic, I want to see that wing cycling up and down. That way I know it's utilizing the full system and the hydraulics are moving, right? So I always like to see it in automatic mode.
And you said, Steve, you have to hit 50 before it'll go back down?
15, 1.5.
Oh, 1.5, okay.
Yeah, so you always park it with a wing in the up position, okay? And you get it up by using track mode, which I'll show you in a few minutes, rather than going through this menu, okay? The only time you ever use the raised by using the menu over here is if you want to drive into your Cars and Coffee car show looking cool with the wing up. Otherwise, leave it in automatic and just let it cycle, okay? Because the wing is programmed to go up and down at different speeds depending on what drive mode you're in. Different drive modes, different speed parameters, okay? So go ahead and press the back arrow for me one time. And then the final two settings, you're going to play with these when you've got nothing else better to do. Okay. This is the boring stuff. This is do you want it in miles or kilometers? Fahrenheit or Celsius? It's already set to how normal people want it, so you'll never ever need to be in there. Okay. So back out of that, yep. So you can see that looked scary initially, but it's not. You're never ever going to use that one. Up and down is the 3 quick pages. And then only if you really want to start playing on launch control do you ever need this button. So that eliminates that whole section. Okay. Radio volume we talked about. Presets we talked about. It's even got cruise control as well. Then the drive modes, something interesting to talk about.
Are you drunk?
You good? Okay. So on the drive modes, there's 5 drive modes. A normal for N for normal is always in the middle setting. Okay. Normal will do 99% of anything you ever want this car to do. It's very capable in normal. If it's ever raining, you go to wet, and it tells you wet on the dashboard with a W on the wheel. Okay. If it's ever raining, you go to wet, but also use wet if you're ever driving this thing slowly, like stop and go traffic in town. If you're trying to load it in and out of a trailer, use wet. Because in wet mode, it's like the chill out mode. Because even in normal, it's quite excitable and it wants to go, right? It's itching to go fast. You put it to wet, it just chills out. so you can drive it slowly, right? Like I drove it on and off the trailer and backed it in here in wet. In normal mode, it's itching to go. Wet is just fine, okay? And then the final one down here is V for VMAX. It goes in on the wheel, but it doesn't go in on the dash because the engine's not running, okay? If the engine was running, we could press OK to get it into VMAX. And VMAX is what we had it in. As soon as it came off the truck, we hit VMAX and the whole thing lowered, okay? So that in VMAX it goes down to its low ride height, but the rear wing never ever deploys. It stays down all the time. That way it's nice and aero efficient, so we can do 216, which is its top speed. There's 2 times that you'll ever use this mode. If you're on a drag strip, or you're wanting to take photographs, because it looks awesome when it's down on the floor. Otherwise, it's completely useless, because it's so low, you can't drive it that low on the street. It's just not safe, right? So, but it is cool to have that option. We go wet, normal, 1 click up. We've got S for sport mode. Again, it tells you sport on the dash. This is cool because it turns everything on. Like the anti-lag system's turned on for the turbo, so there's always boost. Your throttle map is aggressive. Your shift patterns are tuned up. It really wants to go. But you're at the normal ride height, so you can drive it fast on the street. Right? So this is like a fast road setting, is the S for sport mode. Okay. Compared to T for track, again, it doesn't go in on the dashboard because the engine's not running. T for track is down with a wing. So if you ever go to like a road course, down with a wing, that's where you want it. So you need all the downforce, right? That's why T for track is road course, V for VMAX is drag strip. Completely different, right? One has got a wing, one doesn't have a wing, okay? To get in or out of them 2 settings, you need to be engine running, in park, with your foot on the brake. Then you can go through the menus, okay? Because it's such a big change, the car needs time to kind of like work out, well, what's going on here, okay? So that's the 3 middle ones, your sport, your normal, and your wet, you can hit them as you're driving it. I mean, most people like leave the garage at home in wet, they get on the street, they go to normal, then when they find some cool roads, they go to sport mode. Right. Otherwise, I'm trying to think, what we'll do next is, if it's okay with you, we'll start the car for like 2 minutes.
Okay.
And then we'll play with that ride height real quick. So if you want to press the brake, fire it up. Right. Always clear the dashboard, so press OK. Yep, still clear underneath. The first thing is lift up the front end. So you see the front lift, press it. Felt it go up. If you're ever unsure, look for the yellow cars with the arrows. The yellow arrows are telling you that the front end is actually up in the air. To push it down, turn that to VMAX, all the way down towards you. Then it will ask you, are you sure? Yeah, press OK. Everybody giggles when it goes down. It's awesome. Everybody smiles, right? To get out of this mode, turn the dial, and it jumps. Yeah, and then finally, lift it up once more. Leave it up, but turn the engine off. You felt it drop. No matter what you do. Sorry. Every time you turn the engine off, it will always come back to this ride height. Okay? Because we are using the hydraulics to be able to lift this front end up or suck the car down, as soon as we kill the engine, we lose the hydraulics. So the car will jump back to its natural, no hydraulic pressure ride height, which is right here. Okay. The last few, so you see what I mean, the steering wheel is not all that crazy really. The last few things is, obviously you've got your gear selector right here. When the engine is running, you will twist it into D for drive set off and drive. Treat it just treat it like a normal automatic, but it is a 7-speed dual clutch automatic. Okay. Now, when it's in drive, you can pull the paddles whenever you want. So you can play up and down the gearbox, and then if you get bored, you just let go, and it goes back to being an automatic again. Okay. Now, if you ever go to the track, you can be drive manual, then you have to use the paddles. Okay. So in drive manual, paddle only. In drive, you can play both ways. Okay. Finally, on the door here, we've got door locks, electric mirrors, electric windows. Okay. To be able to close the door, obviously you're just going to pull the handle down. To get out, you thumb the switch, you elbow the door at the same time. That's going to push the door open. Okay. Because this is electric, if you get in your car one day and then, hang on a minute, there's no electric anymore, I can't get out. You end up being trapped in your car. Simply climb out the window. Or you can pull this tag down right here. Both sides have them. It's the manual door release. Right there. Yeah. I can see your face going, there ain't no way we're getting out of this.
Yeah.
It's,
My Viper, you had to go through the back window.
oh, really?
Yeah. You go through the back window, and then there was an open inside, just like on the B pillar.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, how do I get out?
You got to climb
I
out
had
the
a
window.
DeLorean, that was even worse. That you could get locked into.
Really?
Yeah. What a piece of
Yeah. I wonder why they stopped making them, right? You can't believe that.
terrible.
But at this point, I don't think there's anything else in there, right, that we've kind of missed. Oh, apart from the cute little sun visors. It gives us a place for the airbag sticker.
Yeah, there you go.
It's, but otherwise, take your time, climb out, and we'll run around the outside.
Okay.
Okay. No rush, take your time. And the carbon is still curing, so it's off-gassing through the paint. So if you can, the less you touch the car between now and getting it wrapped, the better off you are. Okay. If it gets dusty, leave it. Don't try and rub the dirt into the paint. Just let it sit here naturally.
Okay.
It'll take the guys about a week to do it.
So no cover, nothing until just let
Let it sit.
her smoke.
Exactly. Yeah. If it gets a big, massive layer of dust on it, let the wrap guys wash it. It'll take them a day just to wash it. They'll foam can the thing. Then they'll have to strip any polish off the car before they start applying the wrap to it. Let them guys do it.
Okay.
Now, you will have to put fuel in this car, okay? So, where is the fuel door? We've hidden it underneath here. So you've got to push on the back and pop it right open. Then you can just go straight in. Just a capless Ford. 91 is minimum octane. Just put the best fuel you can find in it.
Yeah, that's about all we have around here, unfortunately, except for the barrel back there.
Yeah, if you can find some better jungle juice.
Yeah, 97.
Yeah.
It gives the fuel for the race cars and stuff.
Right. As long as it's unleaded, you're good to go. You know, obviously it's got cats, so you know, leaded kills the cats. So, but yeah, running more than 100 octane, you're not going to gain any more power. You know, it's tuned for 91 to 93. So all you're doing if you put 100 in is you're wasting your money. Well, 15 gallons. Okay. So you can pass everything but a gas station because it's not a very big tank, right? Yeah. It's at 15 miles to the gallon, you're stopping every 100 miles. It's, yeah.
Not the economy.
Yeah, exactly. This is not the car to drive to California with. Right. You'll be stopping all the time. To get in the engine cover, there's two ways of doing it. There's a button on the key that you can press, or it's right next to the light switch. It's that one right there. Okay, which releases the latch, and then all you do is literally just lift this straight up. Bingo. This is all your luggage space. Again, this is not a road tripping car, right? But I can help you out. It's like,
but you can't get to it.
Yeah, there's like enough space for a credit card and 2 toothbrushes, and that's about it. But there's always a Walmart wherever you go, so you buy new clothes. Right? It's, this is your front license plate bracket that you don't need. This is your battery charger. Because it's a lithium battery, you need the lithium charger. I'll get this out in a few minutes and show you how and where to hook this up. Super important. If it's not being driven, it's on the charger. Okay. And then this is your bad day tool bag. So if you've had a bad day, you're going to be in here. Our first thing is we need that. That's for the battery charger, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. Owner's manual. We're going to email you a PDF version. Okay. Tire reinflation kit. You never use this. Okay. The only time you ever use this is if you're in Death Valley and you have to get home. Right. Otherwise, if you get a flat tire, just stop and call for help. Get somebody to bring the trailer. Okay. Because if you put the repair sealant inside this tire to be able to blow it back up again, can you imagine the poor mechanic who's got to try and clean off all that goop and then to sign off and say, yeah, this thing's good for 220 miles an hour? No, that ain't going to happen. $2,000 on a tow truck is cheaper than 10 grand a wheel. So you're just going to stop and call for help. Also in here, you got your Ford funnel. So if you're going to fill this from anything other than a gas station, you need this. So like if you got like your race fuel or whatever, shove this in first, then put the funnel inside here. If you just try and put your normal race funnel directly into the thing, the flaps there grab hold of it, and then you can't get it back out. This is the special shape and size to fit down the neck. And then you've also got, oh, you ordered it. Oh, nice. Feel how light that is. That's your 3D printed titanium tow hook. That's super, super nice. It's the first 3D printed titanium thing Ford have actually been able to build and then actually give to a customer. They are very proud of that. Like embarrassingly proud of that. Like 3-page email. Yeah, they're very proud of it. It's cool though.
It is cool.
Okay, so you see that's a pretty bad day. Now if you've had the worst day ever, you're gonna need this. Okay, this does not get the wheel off. This puts the transmission into neutral. So follow me on this. If you have been at the track and you've killed the engine, right? Like as in if there's a piston hanging out the side of it, it's not going to start anymore. Because it will not start, there's no transmission pressure, so you cannot get it out of park. Okay? So to get the vehicle on your tow truck, you need to manually put the transmission into neutral using this. And this goes in here. That rubber grommet comes out of the floor. This goes directly into the top of the transmission. You then press and hold this forwards. You've got to hold it there as you do in the walk of shame, pushing it on the truck. Because if you let go, doing, goes back into park again. Okay, so this is transmission, hold it forwards, get it on the truck. Okay. Whoever was driving it at the time of blowing it up gets to hold this forwards, right? But it's a bit of a team effort because somebody needs to hold this, somebody else is inside steering it, and then you got the truck driver winching it on the truck. So it's a full team effort. To check the oil level, you've got to use the dry sump tank. Okay, so the dry sump tank right there is obviously where the oil is kept. To check the level, you've got to start it, you've got to get the engine hot. Okay, once it's up to operating temperature, you turn the engine off, you wait 2, but not more than 3 minutes. Because we've got, we've kind of timed that drain back. You've got to use a towel, but it's just to be I mean, this is hot right now. Like, you can't touch it hot. And then, come on, baby. There's the dipstick right there. Okay, so you're going to wipe it, you're going to put it in, screw it in, read it the next time you take it out. Okay, but that goes directly in the top. Spin it down, just like that. Bingo. You know it's right because GT faces out. Okay, and it's a 550. 550 weight oil, so it's the same as the 2005 GT, but it's a different spec. So you've got to get your oil and filter from your GT service dealer.
Okay.
Okay. I wonder who is a dealer around here. Woodhouse Ford,
Okay.
86 miles away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out in Blair.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been there. I know where that is.
Yeah, it's about my Viper from Bob. Did
Okay.
you know Bob? He used to own it. He's Bob Woodhouse. He had all the dealerships. He sold out.
Right.
Since.
I have been to Blair. I know that much. That's otherwise I'd have no idea where it is.
Yeah.
But I have been there. You have to call them for all of your service parts and everything. Okay. When it's time for the oil change, take it down there. Try and get them guys to do it.
Okay.
To be a GT service dealer, they've spent about $100 grand. Wow. They've bought a new tire machine, extra training for the mechanics, but also a GT trailer. Okay, so it's a super special, it's an enclosed car hauler, but it's a low load angle, and the whole side of the trailer will open up so you can get in and out of the door. Because the normal enclosed trailer, you can't get out of this car. You're stuck in it, right? Because of the way the door opens. So the whole side opens up. It's like a $35,000 trailer, but it's really nice. I'm a trailer nerd. I love some trailers. It is cool. To close this, right? When you put this down, do not slam it. Just put it down nice and gentle. If you slam the thing, you will smash the window. Ask us how we know that one. But, so your latch is here, not at the back. So when you put this down, you got to then press it down, 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 and click it. Okay. Take your time, load it, and then hit it. If you just bounce it, it's not going to work. You've got to squeeze, click. Okay. We talked about the wing quickly outside, but yeah, now it's in the up position. We've popped the gurney flap, and yeah, it pivots on the 4 screws that are underneath there. So now we've changed the shape of the wing. So now it is sucking the car down, which is pretty cool. For packaging on this car, you got the clutch and transmission cooler in here. You got the engine oil cooler at this side. So the air comes like down the body of the car, in these vents, through the cooler, and then out the taillight. So the taillight is actually an aerodynamic feature on this car to be able to suck the air out. The exhaust is a titanium exhaust. That's the Akrapovic exhaust company symbol. Comes all the way from Slovenia. Okay, it's the world's best titanium exhaust. So if you have friends who ride Ducatis, every Ducati rider wants that exhaust. Well, you've got it on your car, which is even cooler, right? So it's a stunning piece of fabrication. I mean, it's just beautiful. The welding on there is phenomenal, which is great. Further down, we've got these silver wires. These silver wires work the backup lights, okay? We had to put the silver heat tape on because that's the exhaust. So it gets really, really hot and wants to melt the wires. So we heat protected it, they're good to go. Your license plate has got 4 screws, covers it, you'll never ever see it. And a backup camera as well. Okay. So that's all that stuff. I think the back of the car is better looking than the front. It's just cool. Yeah. Right. So we're going to go down the side of the car next, real quick, and beautiful blue calipers, which is your normal brakes. You've also got your parking brake caliper as well, with titanium lug nuts on this one. But yeah, they're always separate, normal brakes to parking brake caliper. Okay. If you ever see another GT, okay, they all look exactly they're all exactly the same body shape and everything. Okay, but from 2020 onwards, we made a few changes. 2020 is the middle year of production. Okay, so we always knew that if there was any upgrades, it would be 2020 onwards. One of them upgrades was the size of the intercooler. So if you look at the front, see how large the hull is the same, but the intercooler itself, from 2020 onwards, we went from 647 horsepower to 660 because we doubled the size of that cooler. We were finding that the air intake going into the engine was still a little bit hotter than what we really wanted. So we just made a bigger hole for a bigger cooler. You got a bigger intercooler, a bigger charge pipe that is inside here, and a different ECU map and a few other little things. The way the air gets into the engine is there's a black pipe that's straight down there. Right? It's hard to see it, but if you look straight down, that's the black intake pipe.
Okay.
Let me turn the light so you can see it better. See the mouth of that pipe right there? Yep. Okay, so that's sucking air in to the air filter. Okay, so the air filter is actually underneath the car. So the air goes in that black pipe, through the filter, across to the turbo, from the turbo back to the intercooler, up the intercooler, inside here, feeding the engine. So it's got to go like a long, long way. But that's the path of the air intake for it. We're going to keep going down forwards, and if you are going to put this into a trailer or anything else, you're going to have to rotate the mirror in. Okay. This will not go in our normal reliable trailer with the mirrors out. It's that wide. We've got to rotate it in. Okay. And if you've really screwed it up, it even goes that way. But that's the deal on the mirrors. Massive brakes on the front, just huge brakes on this thing. If you have artist friends or photographer guys, all I want to do is take a picture of the lights. The headlights and the tail lights on this thing are awesome. It's always the biggest highlight of anybody's day is to see how cool the headlights look. The front splitter here, it's actually part of the active aero system. Now the wing is up, these vents are actually closed. There's some doors underneath and they actually close, okay? So when the wing goes up, we close these vents, which turns on the full power of the underwing. If the rear wing was down, there's no rear downforce, which means that we also need to kill the front downforce. To kill the front downforce, these vents are open, which lets air go in here, and it kills the downforce underneath. So we're actively balancing the air, the downforce by opening and closing these vents in the front, which is pretty cool, you know. The next thing is how to get in the front here, okay? Let me show you where that latch is because you'll never find it. It's inside the driver's door. And so once the driver's door is open, okay, best way to find the latch for the front is open up the door, rest your arm on the door sill and just go straight in, and it's actually on the side here. It's just a pull latch, okay, but it's at this height on that side. And then from here, we'll open up the front hood here by, you got to go fingers down to the latch, just a slide it over latch, lift up the prop rod, bingo. So if you were hoping for more luggage space, this is not your car, right? This is your washer fluid, all of the main hydraulic fluid. This is what runs the wings and suspension. The big heavy fuses, brake fluid, your front anti-roll bar, your power steering rack, and then the valve block. And the valve block is what sends the high pressure hydraulic fluid to all the wings and suspension so it can dance. Okay. Right here is also a positive and negative point for the battery charger. So at this point, give me 2 minutes, let me prep the charger, and we'll do all battery charger stuff as a thing together.
Okay.
Cool. Take a break. Any questions so far? It's pretty straightforward, right? So I'll stand at this side. Just to give you a heads up, I'm going to do how to hook it up right here. We'll chat a little bit about the charger, and then we'll break into the car using a key, which is underneath the rear bumper. So we'll do this bit, then we'll break and do the back. Yeah. So that just gives you a heads up. So there's two ways of hooking up the battery charger. Okay, we can use this by hooking up at the front, which is dead easy. You're going to go a negative on the stud. That's going to be positive right there. Then you can hook that wire directly into the charger.
Okay.
Okay. You can run this wire over the top of the tire on each side. You can then pull it through, click it in and close it, right? Or you can also use this. This is the like a normal cigarette lighter style plug. This plugs into the luggage compartment in the back. Do not plug this into the port that's actually inside the car, because the one inside the car is power out. We're trying to put power in. Right, so this is in the luggage compartment only. Okay. To me, this is everyday stuff. I'm going to drive it every day during the summer. It's going to sit for 3 months over winter. Right, that way I can run this wire over the wire, click it in, close it, and then I just throw the charger like underneath the car, and then there's just one wire coming out. But either way, this is also good for long term as well, whichever way you want to do it. Right.
I'll probably do that. Go with the tire.
Yeah.
'Cause it will sit most of the time.
Oh, totally, yeah. Yeah, so this will be my long-term storage solution. Okay. Now the charger is a lithium charger because it is a lithium battery. Okay. So if you put a normal lead acid battery charger on here, you're going to kill the battery. Has to be a lithium charger for a lithium battery. When you plug it in, the light comes on and tells you, yeah, you got power to the unit. Then it tells you how much power the battery's actually got. Okay. Even with the charger on, you can run this battery to sleep mode. Right. Lithium batteries have a bad reputation of going flat. That's not actually the case. What the deal is with a lithium battery is it likes to keep at a certain voltage. Okay, so it's at 13.5 volts right now. When it drops down to 11, it shuts down and goes, nope, I'm done. There's still 11 volts in there that just won't come out. Okay, because if you fully discharge your lithium, you've got to throw it in the trash. Even with the charger on, you can run the battery to sleep, because the charger and the battery, which is underneath the headlight, they talk all the time. So like, hey, everything good? Yep, we're all good. But if the car is thinking about something and it's sucking juice out of the battery for like an extended period of time, the charger will go, why are we still giving the car power? It's maybe got a problem. Let's just stop giving out the power. Battery, you can go to sleep, and we'll just sit and wait, right? So at that point, if the car is dead, battery dead, you come up to it with a key and you're like, beep, beep, I can't get in, it's dead. Don't freak out, look at the charger. I bet that warning light up there is on. Okay, so if the car is dead, look at the charger. If that warning light's on, press and hold reset for 10 seconds. Okay, that's going to zap the battery and be like, hey, somebody's here to help. Take the power. Once you've woken it up by using reset, the battery is now alive again. You should be able to open up the door, jump in, press start. We're all good to go. Okay. Just because the battery has gone to sleep mode doesn't necessarily mean that there's a problem with the car. Some cars just do. Right? I know cars that go to sleep within 3 days, other cars that never go to sleep. So let's just wait and see. I have no idea how this car's going to react. Okay. It's just like a random thing. Okay, but it's not a big deal. Reset it, wakes it up. You're good to go.
Okay.
Okay. So, which is the reason why you always keep it on the charger, right? Because let's say that you got home one night and you forgot to plug in the charger. 3 weeks later, you come back to the car and it's, oh, the car's dead. Ah, the charger's not on. Let me grab the key and I'll show you how to break into the car.
Okay.
Using the key. And I'll meet you at the back if I can. Let me grab the, oh, I didn't put that in. Okay, so you've come up to the car one day, you've got the right key because it says GT on the back, so it's definitely the right key, but unfortunately you've gone beep beep and you can't get in. Okay, to break into the car you've got to pull the key out. Now we've got to find a hole for this, and obviously it's down here. Right? And it goes right there.
Okay.
So now the key's in, we're going to open it by click. We've now released the engine cover. So now this is open. If you have this in the charger, it's easy because you plug this directly into the plug port, you hit reset, and it wakes itself up. Okay, not a problem. But let's say that you've got to this far, you've clicked, you've lifted, oh, there's still no charger and there's no plug, right? So you're basically dead in the water. But if you can get that front hood open, you can get a jumper pack on the positive and negative studs and jump it just like a regular car. But to get the front open, you need the driver's door open. To get the driver's door open, you've got to pull that tag that you can't see. So this is where it becomes a two-person job, because somebody needs to pull the tag that's all the way up inside there at the same time as somebody else is pulling on the driver's door. Because although I pulled it, yeah,
You're lifting here.
exactly, yeah. So it becomes a team effort, right? You have to it's a
bonding experience?
It's a bonding experience. It's phone a friend, buy a friend outside wherever you're actually at, right? You got to pull to hold, pull on the door.
Okay.
But wait, there's more, right? If you are to the point where you have to pull that tag, okay, to break into the car, stop. Look at the window. If the window is still fully indexed all the way up inside here, stop, right? Because if the window's up here and you pull the thing and you pull on the door, you're going to smash the window, okay? Like at 11 volts, the battery is supposed to tell this window, please drop. Then you can break into it by using the pull thing to get in here. Okay? Yeah. So if the window is up inside here and it's complete and the car is dead, you're going to have to phone a friend, as in phone a service dealer. They'll send a mechanic out to deal with it.
So will you just leave that piece in there, Steve? I mean, just all the time?
All the time.
Do you suggest, I mean, the problem, where do you run your wire? So, you know, like when you're running over the tire here, is there any way to hide it or not?
No.
Just gonna, okay.
It's, yeah. Basically, if you are using this to plug in the car, you plug the plug in there, you run the wire straight out, straight down the back, and then you just sit this on top of the wire. You don't click it, you just let it sit there,
Okay.
right? I know a lot of people who've bought end up buying like another charger. That way they always keep the plug and a charger in here, and then the other charger can stay in the shop here, right? That way you always have a charger with you wherever you are,
Okay.
right? Worst case scenario, it's battery dies when you're at the shopping center and you've got to run down and buy a $100 generator from Harbor Freight, right? So you can jump your car using the, you know, or a big long extension cable or something, right? But at least if you've got the charger, you can kind of help yourself,
Okay.
right? Now, the last few things I've been thinking about is engine break-in period, okay? The engine break-in period is 600 miles. So for the first 600 miles, just drive it like a regular car. Don't abuse it, don't bounce it off the rev limiter, just drive it like a regular car, okay? After the 600 mile braking period, you can do anything you want with it, but do not abuse this car at 600, meaning do not go to the racetrack with it and beat it hard on a track, okay? If you want to go and do a track day, after the 600-mile braking period, change the engine oil first. Okay. Officially, if you're just going to drive it on the street, you can go all the way to 5,000 miles on the first oil change. Okay. Honestly, if it was mine, I would get through first 600 miles and flush the oil out, and then it's done.
Okay.
So that's the engine oil. Tires. As we said before, the tire pressure is going to be 30 psi. It's a Sport Cup 2 Michelin, so it's the same as like a 350R Mustang, that type of tire. It needs ambient temperature to be able to become soft enough to be able to actually grip hold of the road. Okay. If it's below 45 Fahrenheit, do not drive the car. Okay. If it's cold, it stays right here. It needs ambient to be able to grip hold of the road. And then finally, this car is Ford Pass compatible. So if you've got the big F symbol, you can download that on your phone, the Ford Pass. You can then hook up your car to your phone. You can then see tire pressures, fuel level, and a location of where the car is all off of your phone.
Okay.
Okay.
It works well. Ford Pass works really well.
Yeah.
You know, I had it one time, too many Fords.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
it was too much of a pain, but.
Yeah, there's two. But yeah, you should be able to, because you've already got a Ford Pass account, you'll have to somehow find that password or create a complete new account to be able to do it. But otherwise, please enjoy the car.
I will.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
feel like he deserves an applause.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
I wanted to show you.
Yeah.
A little, you can kind of see that. Maybe a little.
Oh, a little smudge. I'll hit that and just see what that is. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I just was noticing it.
We're
Yeah.
looking right here.
Give me a couple of minutes.
Sure.
I'll tidy up. I'll look at that, and I'll think if I've forgotten anything.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Sounds good.